Knowledge doesn't survive on ideas alone. It survives in places. That's what set Al-Andalus apart. In medieval Spain, learning wasn't scattered or accidental. It was housed in institutions, universities, hospitals, and libraries built to preserve and pass knowledge forward. Libraries came first. Cities like Córdoba held vast collections of books. These weren't private hoards for elites. They were working libraries where scholars copied texts, compared manuscripts, and debated ideas. Books were organized, cataloged, copied carefully by trained scribes. Errors were corrected, not repeated. That alone put Al-Andalus centuries ahead of much of Europe. Hospitals followed the same logic. They weren't religious shelters. They were medical institutions. Doctors trained there. Students observed treatments. Case notes were kept. Surgical tools were standardized. Medicine wasn't mystical. It was practical and repeatable. Then came schools and universities. Education in Al-Andalus wasn't limited to priests. Scholars studied law, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and language. Teachers were paid. Curricula existed. Learning was continuous. That mattered because institutions outlast individuals. A great thinker can die. A library can train the next generation. This system created momentum. Knowledge didn't reset every generation. It accumulated. And this is where the story crosses borders. As Christian kingdoms expanded south, they didn't just take land. They encountered institutions they didn't have. Libraries full of books Europe had never seen. Medical training Europe didn't practice. Mathematical texts Europe couldn't yet read. And instead of destroying all of it, something unexpected happened. Europe copied the model. Translation centers appeared. Schools expanded. Universities began forming in places like Paris, Bologna, and Oxford, inspired by what already existed in Spain. This is the missing link. The Renaissance didn't invent institutions. It inherited them. But institutions depend on stability. And stability in Al-Andalus was beginning to crack. As unity weakened, funding dried up. Rival courts competed. Libraries lost protection. Which brings us to the next phase of the story. If this system was so effective, what caused it to fracture? In the next episode, we'll look at how Al-Andalus began to divide internally, and why political fragmentation and not ignorance set the stage for decline. If you enjoyed this trip down the rabbit hole, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Smart History for Dumb Times.